May, I'm going to be stuck in a wheelchair for the foreseeable future. You need to come and live with me until I recover and help me around the house. I need you by this evening, so start packing immediately. I'm sorry, could I ask who this is and how you know my name? What is the matter with you? Don't tell me you've forgotten about me. I am your mother-in-law. My mother-in-law? I know this isn't my mother-in-law because I have her phone number in my contacts list. So, who are you? No, I know for a fact that you know my number because you blocked me on your old phone. Then when I finally got your new phone number, I realized that you blocked me on your new phone too. Wait a second. No, it can't be. You're Karen, Colton's mom. But that doesn't make any sense. I never gave you my new phone number. How did you find me? You think I was born yesterday? I asked around to my relatives. I told them it was an emergency and that I needed to contact you as soon as possible. None of them knew your new number, though, so I had to go to your relatives, and one of them gave it to me. No way. I can't believe one of my relatives would actually do that. I thought they would know better than to give it out without my permission. Yes, thanks to you, it was like pulling teeth to get them to give it to me. When I told them it was a life-or-death emergency situation, they finally relented. And that's another thing. You've got some nerve, May. The day after Colton's funeral, you went and completely cut off contact with me. I should have known you would do a cold-hearted thing like that. You barren women are all the same. Empty wombs, empty hearts, that's what I always say. The ultimate purpose of all life on this planet is to keep their genetic line going, and you can't even do that. Honestly, if it were up to me, you wouldn't be classified as a human being. Karen, it is precisely talk like that from you that made me cut off contact with you in the first place. And what is going on with you? You're in a wheelchair now? You were perfectly physically active the last time we saw each other. Perhaps a bit too physically active, in fact. Yes, well, I had a nasty fall down the stairs, so I'm stuck with this thing until I'm better. My insurance company said they'd pay for someone to visit the house to help me out, but I don't want some strange person taking care of me. And that's why you need to pack your things and move in with me tonight. I need to? I don't really see why. Because you are my daughter-in-law and I am your mother-in-law. End of story. That's how family works. Not that you'd know anything about family since you could never make one yourself. When I think about how my poor, sweet, innocent son had to spend the best years of his life tethered to you, it just breaks my heart. It's probably what broke his heart, too. You hear me? You're responsible for my son's death. You killed my Colton. Give me back the money my son left you, you vile, filthy, malevolent harlot. It's interesting that you're demanding that I move in and help you by flinging insults at me. Well, I hate to say it, but your brilliant strategy to convince me to move in with you has failed. I don't have any reason to lift a finger for you, so I won't. Excuse me, what gives you the right to say that to me? It's simple. When Colton died, any connection I may have once had to you was severed. We are now nothing to each other, not family, not friends, not even acquaintances. Not to mention you hate my guts. Why would you want someone who you hate so much to be the one waiting on you hand and foot? Don't you dare talk back to me, you impudent little fiend. Even if my son has passed on, that doesn't change the fact that you are my daughter-in-law. You have a moral obligation to help me now that I have to use this wheelchair to get around. Pack up a bag of clothes and get down here right this instant. Right. I'm gonna have to talk to my husband about this first. You're what? Matthew, we've got trouble. Colton's mom is texting me right now.
Wait, really? What in the world does she want?
She wants me to move in with her.
What? That's insane! Why?
She had an accident and needs a wheelchair now and wants me to take care of her.
But there are people you can pay to do that for you. Why doesn't she just do that? Her insurance should cover it.
That was my first thought, but apparently she doesn't want a complete stranger coming into her house.
Okay, well, if that's the logic she's gonna use, then why does she want you to do it? You're practically strangers nowadays.
Right? That's exactly what I said. I told her I wouldn't do it, but she's just not taking no for an answer. Plus, she's bringing up the whole inheritance thing, which I guess I kinda understand.
Yeah, I guess you can't just dismiss her offhand, can you? But I mean, you told me about the way she acted at the funeral. She said all those terrible things to you, and now she expects you're gonna drop everything and become her maid?
Apparently, yeah. To be fair to her, her only son suddenly passed away from a heart attack before he even turned 30. I can understand that she would be emotionally unstable. But in the middle of the funeral service, she jumps at me, starts pulling on my hair and punching me. Then she starts screaming, "You killed my son! You killed him! I'll kill you for this!" It was both sad and terrifying. I don't even want to see her face again, much less have to become her full-time caretaker.
I can empathize with the unfortunate position she's in, being injured and immobilized, but at the same time, she's done terrible things to you and never apologized. Even if she did apologize, what she did to you borders on the unforgivable. Don't worry, May, I'm here for you. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know, okay?
Thank you so much, Matthew. Just the fact that I'm not alone makes a huge difference. If I was still single, I'd probably be having a mental breakdown right about now.
I'm glad to hear you say that. But yeah, we'll need to find a way to get her off your case. I mean, what would I do if you had to go move in with her?
Mate, what's going on over there? I waited all night for you to get here, but you never came. I gave you explicit instructions yesterday, and I expect you to follow them. Do not keep me waiting any longer. Good morning, Karen. I talked to my husband last night, and in the end, we both agreed that I have no reason to become your full-time caretaker. I thought you were talking about my Colton when you said that last night, but you weren't, were you? You got remarried. Yes, that's right. I knew it. You've completely forgotten about my son. I was right about you. You were nothing but a heartless, soulless, unthinking, uncaring succubus. I will never forget about Colton and the love that we shared. At the same time, I can't keep living in the past. Colton wouldn't want that either. He would want me to move forward, and that's what I did. And my life from now on has absolutely nothing to do with you, so please leave me alone. I have a new family now, and my responsibility is first and foremost to them. So what, you've got yourself a new family? So what, you've gone and replaced my Colton in your heart? This has nothing to do with your responsibilities to me. And besides, a miserable failure of a human being like yourself must have nothing but free time on your hands. And if you've got free time on your hands, then you've got no reason to say no to me. What on earth are you talking about? You're as barren as a bag of sand, you useless sack of meat. If you were infertile then, you're infertile now, and you'll never be able to have children. And if you've got no children, then it's the same to me as if you were still single. Now don't make me tell you again. Pack your bags and head over here immediately. You have a lot of housework to do for me. Actually, I have plenty of housework that I should be doing now, but can't because I'm stuck talking to you. I'm not going to live with you, period. If you keep making demands like this, then I can promise you that I'll make you regret it. Are you threatening me? No, I'm just telling you that I have not forgiven you, and I doubt I ever will. I understand that you were still in shock from your son's sudden death at the time. But if you think that you can act like nothing ever happened, not even apologize, and maintain a normal relationship with me, well, you've got another thing coming. What are you rambling on about? Apologize for what? Unreal. What's unreal is how much time you're wasting throwing a tantrum like a toddler when you should be shopping for me. When you come down here, pick up some milk and butter from the store. I have a few more things I need you to buy as well. I'll send you a list. I'd like to say that I'm shocked, but this is just par for the course with you. You really don't think that you've done anything worth apologizing for. All right, then so be it. I tried to warn you, but you leave me with no other choice. Again with that utter nonsense. You keep sending me bizarre texts that make no sense at all. If you ask me, I think you need to have your head examined. Thanks for your concern for my mental well-being, but my head is perfectly fine. I'm just saying that I've made up my mind. I'll do whatever I need to do to get you off my back. Meaning what precisely? Meaning that there is absolutely no chance that I will become your caretaker. I won't do your housework for you. I won't even come visit you. I finally have something that I was afraid I had lost forever when Colton died. Peace. I won't let anyone threaten that newfound peace, least of all you. I want nothing to do with you, so leave me alone. If you won't leave me alone willingly, then I'll make you leave me alone. What in the world? What is this picture you sent me? I sent it to you hours ago. You're just now seeing it? Anyway, that's a picture of my family. I thought it would be more effective to show you rather than tell you. You know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Stop lying to me. This isn't your family. Who are all these children standing there with you? They're my children. No, they're not. You can't have children, you dirty, rotten liar. That's what you always told me, but you're wrong. No, the truth is that the reason Colton and I couldn't have kids is because Colton was infertile. We both got tested and everything, so it's a sure thing. No, not my Colton. Once we got the test results in, we had a talk as a couple about how we wanted to move forward. We decided that the best thing for us to do was just be content with each other's company. And maybe in the future, if we decided we wanted to have children, we could always adopt or take in a foster child. We told you this before, too. Colton personally explained that to you time after time after time. Why didn't you believe him? But I thought he was just lying to protect you. You just couldn't accept that your precious son couldn't have kids. That's understandable, considering how poorly you think of people struggling with infertility. What was it you said to me? That I was a miserable failure of a human being because I couldn't have kids? That attitude of yours is precisely why Colton waited so long to tell you. He was terrified of how you would react. He finally built up his courage and practiced every word of how he would break the news to you. And then what happened? You completely ignored him, assumed he was lying, and accused me of forcing him to take the fall for me. You have a habit of doing that, you know. Interpreting every single thing in the way that's most convenient for you. No, oh, this can't be. My son can't be at fault. You must be at least partially responsible. Really, Karen? Yes, really, that has to be true. You must have been doing something wrong. You were either eating too much or too little. Or perhaps you've been drinking. Is that it? Are you an alcoholic, May? That's it. I can't take it anymore. Shut your foul mouth, Karen. I will not stand by while you spit on Colton's grave any longer. Excuse me? Do you have any idea how crushed I was when I woke up that morning to find Colton dead right next to me in our bed? I have tortured myself over what happened that day for years now. Maybe if I would have woken up sooner, I could have saved him. Maybe he tried to wake me up when he just had his heart attack and I just didn't notice. He was your son, Karen, but he was my husband. He was everything to me. And even now that he's gone, he still holds an important place in my heart. I want an apology for what you've said tonight, and not just for me either. Every single insult you've thrown at me was also an insult to Colton's memory. I can deal with your mockery, but Colton's not here to defend himself anymore, you coward. How dare you act like you know more about that boy's feelings than me? Colton was my son. I've been a part of his life from the very beginning. I know him far better than you ever could. You are the only one who thinks that way. Listen to me, May. Don't think that I've forgotten about the money that you owe me. I've been waiting more than enough for you to give it back to me voluntarily. You thought you could hide from me, didn't you? That's the real reason you cut off contact with me after Colton's funeral. You wanted to run away with his money. Well, I'm not going to let you get away with it. Money? What money are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me, little girl. The money that you got from Colton was part of my husband's inheritance. I demand that you return it this instant. That was a gift inter vivos from your husband. Yes, he was trying to avoid inheritance taxes. If he would have waited a few more months to give him the money, the government would have taken about half of it. And I want every single cent of that money back right now. Wire it into my account by the end of the day. What aren't you getting, Karen? There is nothing for me to give back to you. The moment your husband signed that money over to Colton, it was legally his money. And now that Colton is gone, that money became a part of his estate. And as his wife at the time of his death, his estate rightfully belongs to me. What nonsense are you trying to give me now? That was my husband's money, and that makes it my money. I thought this was all common knowledge. Your husband gave it to my husband, who gave it to me. It's not your money, it's mine. Really, since your husband gave it to Colton, it never was your money to begin with. Don't give me that. You're just a dirty little thief, that's all you are. Wrong as you are, I do sort of understand where you're coming from. But after inheriting that money from my husband, I chose to use it in a way that he would approve of. It was a sort of promise we made to each other before he died, so I'm sorry, but I can't give it to you. Don't go dragging my son into this. This is all you're doing. He has no part in this. You're trying to get me to let you keep what's rightfully mine, and I'm not falling for it. Regardless of what you think about it, I will not go back on my promise to Colton. I'm going to honor his wishes to the very end. And if you have any respect for your son at all, you'll do the same. You never even respected Colton enough to give him a child while he was alive. Don't think I believe you respect him now that he's dead. So you used it, huh? Then tell me what you used it on. I used it to start a business. A business? Yeah, me and Colton had been talking about one day starting up a business of our own since before we got married. We promised to each other that once we were 35, we would quit our jobs and launch a company of our own. So I used the money I received after Colton's death to do just that. I'm the president of the company right now, and while it's a lot more work than I expected, I'm quite enjoying it. You're lying. I just know it. If you're so busy running that fake company of yours, then who's taking care of the house, You've got kids, right? If you're at work all the time, then there would be no one around to look after them. I caught you now. Actually, my husband stays home to take care of the house. I'm the breadwinner and make enough money for our whole family to live on, so he's free to look after the kids for me. He doesn't have a job, but he's your husband, the man of the house. I know this may be hard for you to accept, given the fact that you grew up during a totally different time, but yes, this is how our family works. And since it's not your family, I would appreciate it if you could refrain from commenting where your opinions aren't wanted. All right, so maybe you were telling the truth about starting a business, but that means you've got plenty of money on hand now, don't you? Give me that money. The only money we have on hand is money that we earned ourselves. None of that money I got from Colton is left. Also, we're planning to use the money we have on hand now to expand our business. I'm afraid we won't be able to return any money to you. I am sick and tired of all your excuses. Give me my money right now or else I'll sue you. I will acknowledge that the lifestyle we've made for ourselves was only made possible due to the money Colton left me. As such, I suppose I could repay you in some form as a way of showing my appreciation. In some form? What do you mean? I mean, we won't be giving you any money. What? Then what are you going to give me? You're the one who signed up for that assisted living service for me, aren't you? I never asked you to do that. Actually, I specifically told you I did not want some stranger coming into my house. Who are you, anyway?
Hi there, Karen. I'll bet you were surprised when they showed up at the house today. I apologize for that. I should have told you in advance. My name's Matthew. I'm May's husband.
Oh, so you're the guy May married.
That's right. May was worried about your lifestyle, so she talked to me about what we could do for you. Even though we're not particularly fond of you, it must be difficult to deal with life in a wheelchair. Also, our current lifestyle is thanks to the money Colton left May. So we decided to help you out by paying for an in-home care service for you. I was the one who sent for the people who came to your house today.
And why are you getting involved in this, huh? You're nothing to me.
Well, May is a very busy woman. She doesn't really have the time to look for and sign up for this sort of service. Since I'm at home, I have much more free time. I understand you weren't too thrilled about the prospect of having people you didn't know coming into your house. But when you think about it, you don't really know May too well either, so this is basically the same thing. Don't worry, if you ever need anything, you can contact me and I'll make the necessary calls for you.
I'm not talking to you anymore. Give the phone to May right now. Hey, are you there? Don't you ignore me. Looks like you've been deceived, you poor pathetic man.
Good morning, Karen. Can I help you with something?
I just got to thinking, that's all. That evil woman had the nerve to accuse my boy Colton of not being able to have kids, but how can we know that for sure? She could have very easily been lying, and since Colton's gone, we can't check.
Okay, where are you going with this?
I am getting there. You have a few kids together, don't you? Well, I got to thinking, maybe your oldest one isn't yours at all. Maybe that's actually Colton's kid.
That's a very odd allegation to be throwing at me.
Well, think about it. You got married within a year of Colton's death, didn't you? That's not normal. I'll bet she found out she was pregnant after Colton died, then hurried up and married you so she could convince you it was yours.
That's not possible.
How can you know that for sure? You can't be 100% certain unless you get a paternity test done.
I did.
You did?
Yep. If you're not convinced, would you like me to show you the test results?
Hold on, what are you saying? You mean you actually went out of your way to have a paternity test done for your kids?
Yep, I sure did.
Oh, I get it. That means you're just as suspicious of her as I am. I knew I was right about her. What a foul woman she is, huh? She must have been acting really suspicious around you if you thought you needed to do a DNA test to be sure the kid's yours.
No, actually, I always knew that they were mine.
You did, but then why would you get them tested?
It's true that most people who have paternity tests done are uncertain of whether a child is theirs, but my case is different. I just wanted to have an official record of my daughter being my child.
That doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about?
You see, I was actually adopted. I never met my birth parents nor any of my other family members, so I've never known the feeling of having blood relatives. That's why I was so excited when we found out May was pregnant. I finally had something that I've never had before. I was so happy that I wanted to do something to commemorate the occasion. May suggested having the DNA test done, and I thought it was a good idea. You might think it's strange, and I could admit that it is. But for me, having someone else recognize that my daughter was my daughter felt really validating for me. I framed the test and put it on the wall in our living room.
So, you mean...
That's right, Colton and May never had any kids together. For the record, even if May was Colton's child, I would have raised her as my own all the same. That's part of my role as her second husband. Well, I hope that clears things up for you. None of our children are Colton's children, so you have absolutely no connection to us whatsoever. In spite of this, out of the kindness of her heart, May has decided to foot the bill for your in-home care. I hope you keep that in mind.
Oh, don't you try to guilt trip me over this. I never asked for this, and I don't want it. Don't ever send another random stranger to my house again. Now, would you please give the phone back to May? You can't do this to me. I don't deserve this. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't want to go to the loony bin. They just want to talk to you, Karen. I think it would be for the best to go with them for now. There you are. I've been trying to get a hold of you for ages. Where have you been? Ignoring you, actually. I'm only messaging you right now because I'm afraid that unless you hear this from me, you'll never accept it. You're going to be staying in a mental hospital for a while for examination. Don't worry about the costs. I'll cover everything. Are you not paying attention? I just told you that I don't want to go to any mental hospital. Why are you doing this to me? Because you were physically assaulting the people we had sent to your house to help you out. Whenever they showed up, you would start grabbing everything in reach and throwing it at them. You even punched one of them who got close enough. When Matthew stopped by to check on you, you threw a massive temper tantrum. You don't seem well, Karen. We talked to the doctors at the mental hospital and they agreed that you would benefit from being committed there. I'm not sick. I'm fine. All the people who went to your house think otherwise. They're all in agreement that you need psychiatric help. One of them even ended up calling the police on you. Additionally, your raving obsession with me is most likely a manifestation of your inability to cope with Colton's death. I'm a mother now myself, so I think I can understand how devastating it would be to have one of my children die. Stop trying to empathize with me. All you're doing is buttering me up so you can lock me away in a straitjacket for the rest of my life. I'm not insane. That's not what this is, Karen. This is just a place where you can live in a safe and secure environment while getting the help you need. Not many people could handle the sudden death of their child while retaining a sound mind. I'll bet you have all sorts of emotional wounds that need tending to, even if you don't realize it. Those wounds are what causes your outbursts of anger like the one Matthew saw. You're wrong. I'm not sick. I'm not insane. I'm perfectly normal. You all are the ones who are insane. You're the only one who thinks that way. They'll be at your house to pick you up soon, so this will likely be our final conversation. I know that you hate me and probably always will, but please stop involving other innocent people in your vendetta against me. I hope that you get the help you need and finally find inner peace again. Colton would want that for you too, so please go without a fight. Karen was tested and found to be clinically insane, so she was involuntarily committed to a mental asylum for seniors shortly after that. She was a bit of a problem child at first, occasionally refusing to take her medicine and arguing with the staff, but she did eventually start taking it, and I understand she's calmed down a lot ever since then. However, she soon found out that I was right about her. Her anger had been masking the deep wounds that Colton's death had left on her heart. With the anger gone, she was left to deal with the sadness that she had been hiding away for all these years. When I talked to her doctor the other day, he said that the night staff report hearing her crying in her room late at night pretty regularly. That brought back some painful memories for me. In the days after Colton died, I was waking up late at night expecting him to be there next to me. But when he wasn't, I completely fell apart and started crying my eyes out. But as much as I can empathize with her pain, that still doesn't excuse her for things that she's said and done to me. What happened at Colton's funeral is a wound that I'm going to be carrying with me for the rest of my days. So while I won't be forgiving her anytime soon, I suppose I can at least say that I've come to understand her a bit more. Her doctor asked me if I ever had any intentions to come and visit her, and I told them no. I think that it would be far better for the two of us not to meet again. The doctor said that he agreed and that he was actually relieved that I said that. Besides, I don't have any time to spend on her. I have my own family to take care of and a business to run. I've also grown more appreciative of Matthew throughout this whole affair. He was there right beside me the whole time, doing and saying everything that he could in order to support me. I think Colton would be relieved to know that I married such a wonderful man. It may seem odd for me to talk like that, but I owe it to my late husband not to stay caught up in the past. And so I'm going to put all my effort into moving forward. I'm going to do my best to raise my children, love my husband, and expand the business that represents both my dreams and Colton's memory.
Hey, why are you of all people here right now, Dalton? Don't you know that we are a family of some of the most well-known lawyers in this area? Despite all the effort that we put into you, you failed the bar exam and brought great shame upon this whole entire family. After that, we had to cut ties to your uneducated self, and yet, here you are today, at your brother's wedding of all places. Why did you think coming here today would be a good idea?
Hi, Mom. It's been a long while. I was invited to be at this wedding today, so that's why I'm here.
You were invited? What kind of nonsense are you going on about right now? There's no way any of us would be willing to invite a disgrace like you to the wedding of a lawyer today.
You're calling me a disgrace now? I get that I wasn't able to live up to all your expectations, Mom, but that doesn't mean you can call me something like a disgrace.
Stop whining about what I'm calling you. You failed the bar exam because you are too stupid to be a part of this family. All of that money, all those years of raising you into what I thought would someday become an even better lawyer than your dad, has gone to waste.
Mom, I tried my best back then, okay?
I bet, but your best was nowhere good enough to make you into a productive member of this family. Now stop acting like your trying your best was a good excuse for failing that exam. Do you think you can use that kind of childish excuse on everything that you fail at in life? If you don't come out with my excellent results in the end, then that means you wasted people's time, money, and efforts.
Hold on, though. Just because I failed it the first time doesn't mean that I can't take it again. You can take that exam up to 5 times, so me failing the first time wasn't the end of everything for me. I think you all cutting ties to me after something as simple as failing on my first try was way too much.
Listen here, Dalton. Your brother Seth went and studied way harder than you for that exam. And you know what? He went out and passed it on his first try. I feel like your dad and I were stabbed in the back by you for failing your exam after all the time and money we put into you. It makes me really embarrassed and infuriated just thinking about all of that. And now, you're trying to say that failing the first time, just because things might have not have gone your way during the exam, makes you one of the most, if not the most already worthless human in existence.
What?
Anyway, having a disgrace like you here at this wedding is going to lower the rest of this family's status. So, you leave this wedding venue right now.
All right, I'll go then.
Dalton, before this wedding starts today, do you mind coming over and introducing yourself to everyone? When do you think you can be over here? We're all waiting for you.
I'm sorry, Jessica. I think I'm gonna go back home after all.
What? What's going on with you right now?
Actually, I've been a bit hesitant towards all of this for a while now, but there's something I've been really needing to say to you about who you're getting married to today. Your husband is my brother, actually.
Wait, what? Are you serious? Wow. What an insane coincidence, I guess. Does that mean he's your brother from that family of yours that all went and cut ties to you a while back?
Yes, that's him. And actually, I just heard from my mom for the first time in years a little bit ago. And as I was expecting from her and the rest of them, they all said some really hurtful things about me.
No way.
I think me being a part of the wedding today is only going to make things worse for all the guests here. I wouldn't want to ruin your wedding since you've been looking forward to it for such a long time now. I know that today is supposed to be a very happy day where everyone's all excited about you. But I just can't be knowing they're all here. I'm really sorry for this, Jessica.
You don't have to be.
I promise that I'll explain a lot more about what happened back then to you another day.
Wait, Dalton, please don't leave my wedding.
What? But if I stay here with all of you, I might end up causing your special day to be ruined. All of my family, and I'm sure plenty of their guests, hate me.
I get that, but I invited you here today to be one of my special guests and to celebrate me while I'm up in front of you all. You are here for me as my guest, not theirs. And I have a right to choose who I want here to be with me. which means that no other person here can tell you you have to leave without my permission. Understand?
That I understand, but
Don't worry about them, all right?
they had all been a really difficult family for me in the past, and I know that they won't like me sticking around this wedding any longer.
I know, but they're all my family now as well, right? If they say anything else or do anything else to you, Dalton, you come tell me immediately so that I can handle them myself. You got it? Even when the ceremony is in full swing, you tell me.
Are you sure?
Dalton, I cannot stand seeing you get bullied by that family anymore. Now, could you please come find me so that you can introduce yourself to some of my guests out here? And after that, I have one thing I'd like to talk with you about regarding Seth.
Okay, Jessica. I'll be right out.
You still haven't gone home yet? How much longer do you plan on sitting around at this wedding doing as you'd like? I'm telling you right now, if you try any funny business today at Seth's wedding, it will not go easy on you.
Mom, I would never do anything to mess with Seth or this whole wedding today. I'm just here wanting to enjoy it, and I want it to go smoothly, just like all the other guests here today.
But how much of what you're saying to me about that is actually true, Dalton? Anyway, I'm betting you're still single, right? Have you ever had a chance at finding someone who'd be willing to go out with you and get married? Of course not. A loser like you would never be able to find anyone that could love you back, since you failed your first attempt at the bar exam.
Stop that already, Mom. You want to know the reason why I failed that exam my first try? Because of you and Dad always pressuring me about how the family is a highly respected one since everyone in it is a lawyer and all that. By the time I had to sit down and take the exam, I couldn't focus because all I heard in my head was you guys yelling at me about how I needed to be perfect at everything.
Excuse me? All your dad and I were doing was providing you with the reasonable guidance you needed in order to succeed in this world. So don't start blaming the both of us for your failures.
Ugh, I knew you were gonna say something like that. Don't worry about me, though. I promise I'm not gonna go around this wedding today talking to any of your guests. And if any of them come to me, I promise not to tell them I was once a part of your family. Now, could you just leave me alone, please, Mom?
That's not the issue I have with you today. The issue I have is with you just existing in the same building as the rest of the family. None of us, not your brother, not your dad, and not myself, invited you to be at this wedding today. In other words, there is no possible way that you have a seat here with us.
You still don't get it then, do you, Mom? I wasn't invited to this wedding today to be Seth's guest. I was invited to this wedding today by my friend Jessica, who's the bride to Seth.
What? Wait, you know Jessica? And you called her your friend?
And she's not just any friend of mine either, but a very, very close friend that I've been talking to for a long time now. And as one of her best friends, I'm supposed to be giving a speech for her today.
I never knew that. Well, so be it. None of that matters to me anyway. There is still time before this wedding starts, and you cause all of this event to be ruined, so get out of here! Leave right now, Dalton. And you go apologize to Jessica, telling her that you have to leave. Right now.
Mom, I'm not leaving this wedding. I promised Jessica that I'd be here to celebrate her big day today, and I will not break that promise to her. And I have a speech to give.
Well, then don't blame us if anything really embarrassing ends up happening to you today.
What?
I am not playing any more games with you, disgracing the name of this family with your filthy tongue. In that speech of yours you gave today, you told everyone here that you were the younger brother of Seth. How dare you? I will not forgive you for doing something like that.
But all I said were facts during that whole entire speech, right? What's the big deal here?
Everything is a big deal after all those things you said about us and your brother. Ever since we kicked you out of the house, out of the family, we've told everyone that we only have one child now, and that we never had you. But now, after what you pulled during that speech, I'm being asked countless times by all the guests what's going on, and why I never said anything about you.
I see. Well, Why not just tell them the truth about it then? Tell them that you disowned your son a while back because he failed the bar exam on his first try. They should all be able to understand that reasoning, right?
I already tried explaining all of that to them, but that's not the problem I'm having right now. The problem I'm having is that everyone knows that a failure like you exists now, and that you came from our family. This family, a family of lawyers, cannot tolerate having someone like you being known when we have so much pride we have to defend. Did you not notice there were some very professional guests at the wedding today? Some very esteemed members of the legal community that were there among the rest of the guests for Seth. Seth had it all lined up getting married today to someone like Jessica, and he was about to make it out of there with his whole career ready to go. Yet now...
And? What does all of that have to do with me?
What? Are you kidding me? Because of you and that speech today, Seth and Jessica's wedding is going to be called off today.
Oh, so that's what you're really upset about? Well, don't worry, because it's not about to be. It's already called off, Mom.
What? What did you say?
But don't think it's happening because everyone here now knows about me existing. It's because of the way you and Dad insult everyone who never passes the bar exam on their first try, like you were doing to me before cutting ties to me. And you want to know something crazy about that? Jessica's father also happened to not pass his bar exam on his first try, meaning you both should be feeling the same way about him now too, right?
That can't be true.
Everyone in that room today was not appalled at me for existing, but at you and Dad for the way you treated me, and treated others as well. Jessica's father was even saying he couldn't be bothered with scum like you anymore once he's heard about that. So in other words, this has all happened because of yours and Dad's behavior.
You're lying.
I'm not lying about this, Mom. The only reason you're wanting to blame me for all of this is because that's the easiest thing to do, right? Blame me for all your problems and then you never have to take responsibility for anything. Well, now everyone knows about how you treated me like trash and that you only see me as a failure and as a disgrace to your family just because I failed the bar exam one time. I'm betting that now the family's reputation of being very compassionate lawyers is seen as a farce, all because you treated one of your sons the way you did. It's only natural now that Jessica and her family would want nothing to do with all of you. This is all the result of your guys' own actions, so stop trying to blame someone else for them.
The reason I've been treating you like that is because you're a failure.
All right then, what about Jessica? If she were to make a mistake after marrying into your family, would you be kind and understanding of her?
I would at least go a little bit softer on her.
But you would still treat her worse than any self-respecting parent should, right?
No, I wouldn't. And why are you even asking me a question like that anyway? Unlike you, Jessica would never make the kind of mistakes you have.
It doesn't matter if she would or wouldn't. I just wanted to hear from you whether you would be kind to her or not, and from what you said, you made it sound as though you'd still be unfair and awful to her.
Enough of this already, Dalton. I see now that talking to you about all of this is a complete waste of my time. I'll go and talk with Jessica myself about this, and explain to her that she shouldn't hang out with piles of trash like you. And then, once I have her cut ties to you, you'll have no more friends, and nobody else to call family. And right there is the life of a failure like you deserve. Jessica, all of that about having the wedding and marriage canceled was a joke, right? Well, after hearing that from you, I've really put some thought into everything. This wedding is supposed to be about you and Seth, right? Yet it's all been about Dalton this whole time. I understand that things may not have gone as planned there, and I am very sorry for that. So please, let's just forget about everything that had to do with Dalton and focus on your big day with my son.
That wasn't a joke. Did you really think I was joking when I said to everyone that this wedding was over with?
What? Of course I did. Why would you ever want to give up this beautiful wedding you have here? With my son, of all people.
I can't believe this. Let me make myself very clear here. I would rather live the rest of my life as a single girl than have to marry into such a disgusting family like yours.
Jessica? I can't believe you would say something like that about us. That must be Dalton's bad influence getting into your head, right? That has to be. I'm telling you, Jessica, you shouldn't be judging our family based off only what a disgrace has told you about us.
Then why did you judge Dalton based off of one failed exam? You went and blamed him for not passing it the first time without even thinking about why that could have happened to him, right?
Jessica, I know that you are Seth's wife, but you cannot talk about me like that, okay?
Why not? You seem to think it was okay to talk about Dalton that way. He is one of my most dearest friends, and having to hear stories from him about the way you treated him broke my heart. Wasn't he your son? How can you say and do things like that to your own son? And all those times I saw Seth today making fun of Dalton alongside you guys? What a joke. The moment I started to realize that he was just as bad as both you and your husband have been, I started to lose my feelings for him. And that's why I'm going to be divorcing Seth.
No, Jessica.
And no matter what else you try and say to me about this, my decision is final. I am going to divorce Seth, one way or another.
I don't get it, Jessica. Why do you care so much more about someone like Dalton than you do your own husband and family? He's nothing more than a failed law student.
Because Dalton was the one who saved me. Him and I first met with one another when we were studying abroad over in the UK. I had no clue who anyone really was over there yet, and one night while I was on the subway, I started to get harassed by a group of guys. When I got off at the next stop, trying to escape them, they came after me and threw me to the ground. But just before they could do anything to me, Dalton came around the corner and told them all to screw off. And when some of them wouldn't, he pushed them down and told them to get up and run with him. If it wasn't for him coming to my aid then, who knows what those men would have done to me in that subway. Ever since that day, him and I have been best friends, and I have never felt so close to someone before in my life like him. And as for that one bar exam he failed, who cares? It was his first try, and he still had plenty more chances after that to try again and pass. It's not some kind of a crime to fail an exam. So how about you stop treating him like he's some kind of a criminal and lay off?
You might not be aware of this, Jessica, but in our family lies plenty of highly praised lawyers that the state count on for justice. And when someone like Dalton chooses to fail at their first attempt at the bar exam like that, it's the same thing as him committing a crime to our family. That is why in my family's eyes, our treatment of him was just.
Is that so? Then I guess there really is no point in trying to reason with you anymore. I have another plan up my sleeve though for you, so don't worry. Do you remember who the head of the law firm is that Seth has been working for?
Huh? That would be your dad, right? I met with him when Seth first went and started working for him there.
That's right.
So, what does that have to do with me?
I went and spoke with my father about all of this earlier. He's going to receive an official notification soon from the firm, but it seems like Seth is going to be let go now and won't be allowed to work for my father again.
What? That can't be true. Your dad is a very prestigious man, and his firm is known globally for working in international affairs. Seth being able to work under him is a big deal for our family as a whole.
Considering what a lot of the other lawyers here with my family today said about Seth, him continuing to work under my father would be a major downside to his law firm's reputation. My father is now planning on holding a major meeting soon, where he will not only announce that Seth and I will be getting a divorce, but that Seth will also be let go from his current position.
No, you can't let that happen to him. Seth is a very young and strong lawyer, and after a few years of working with your dad, he was planning to go independent.
Well, thankfully, him being let go will help accelerate his plans of going independent, right? Sounds like a win-win situation to me.
No way! But Seth doesn't have the experience he needs to go independent. Please, Jessica, go and ask your dad to reconsider what he's doing here.
I'm sorry to say this, but that's not going to help anything. When it comes to my father, once he's made his mind up about something and someone, it cannot be changed. And when it comes to what you said and did to my dear friend Dalton, a man that my father also happens to respect, you really sealed your son's fate. Neither one of us are going to forgive you for all of that now.
Jessica?
Now, before you cause any more problems like you've already caused today, give up and accept what's going to happen.
But I married into this family of very prestigious lawyers, which means that I can't give up. I have to protect this family's name by saving Seth's marriage and career.
I mean, I guess you don't have to give up then. The outcome is going to remain the same for you and Seth anyway. Anywho, from now on, please never text or call me again. If you'd like to talk to me, please go through my father, and I'll promise I'll respond to you then. Since we are all lawyers here, we all know just how important it is to have a good lawyer during situations like these, right?
No, Jessica, wait! Seth's career and his life! Ever since that wedding, our lives have all gone to hell for us. And as for Seth, he is completely out of it ever since being told that Jessica wants to divorce him. How dare you do something like this to us? after we went and cut ties to you, and I told you to stay away from the wedding. Do you feel satisfied with what you've done with us now?
Hello again, Mom. You're making it sound like all of that was my plan from the start. Let me just remind you that all of this was your doing and that I was just playing along with your game. If you hadn't said all those things about me and acted the way you did at your son's wedding, none of this would have had to happen to you guys. All I did was show up to a wedding that I was invited to by my friend who just so happened to be Seth's bride. And when I gave that speech, all I said was that Seth was my brother and that it was nice to see him again after so many years. I never once said anything about how you went and disowned me and for what reasons. You guys went and caused a scene right after that, which led to everyone finding out about your bad reputations. And that's all.
Always making crap up like that. You haven't changed one bit, have you? If only you had just left the wedding like I told you to, then my family wouldn't be having to go through hell right now.
You haven't changed one bit either, Mom. Still acting like a child, thinking that everything is about you and that family. Did you still think that by talking down to me like you did at the wedding, I'd be willing to actually listen to you? Maybe that's exactly what you expected to happen, considering how you treated me before and during my bar exam.
I was doing what I had to as your mother and as a part of this family.
And you think that gets you a cookie or something, treating me like you did? It sounds right now like you wish to be thanked for the way you raised me.
You should be thanking us for what your dad and I did for you.
Really, Mom? Then you must have forgotten completely what you'd done to me back then. Whenever my grades were bad in school, you know what you guys did. You would take my head and dunk it in a bucket of water repeatedly. And when my mock exam scores were not high enough for you guys, you'd force me to go without barely any food for a week. You guys also never allowed me to get a part-time job like all my friends were doing. And you'd never even let me hang out with anyone because you wanted me to lock myself in my room all day and study. All of that pressure led to me getting really stressed, and that led to me developing a few stomach ulcers. I told you about how the doctor said that to me and that I needed some time to rest. Yet you complained that I was a bad son and needed to work even harder. I know I failed that bar exam the first time because of the insane pressure you and Dad put on me. You can't blame me for not passing an exam that was treated like the decider between life and death in our family. I was stressed beyond belief, and halfway through the exam I broke my pencil with my grip because I was so afraid of what had happened after. I failed that first exam because of the way you and Dad and everyone in the family treated me. I won't thank you for any of that.
So you're still going to blame me for failing that exam?
Guess what, Mom? A year after you and Dad both chewed me out and disowned me, I went and took the exam again. And when I did, I passed it.
No way. You weren't able to do that when you were with us. You should have been able to do it under our guidance. That must mean you just got lucky. Don't act like you passing had anything to do with us getting rid of you.
Do you have any idea how tough things were for me after you guys forced me onto the streets? I had to go out and find work, and work close to 60 hours a week, all so that I could make ends meet for myself. I actually had way less time than I did at your house to study because of that. But I was able to pass the exam still, and do you know why that was? Because I was finally able to study at my own pace without having you and Dad screaming at me in my right and left ears.
I doubt that. You just got lucky, Dalton. Nothing about studying at your pace should have allowed you to pass the exam.
What would you know about the exam and studying for it anyway, Mom? You just married into a family of lawyers and have been a housewife the whole time. How come you always talk about how you're some kind of lawyer as well when you've never worked as one or even studied to become one? You're nothing more than Dad's housewife.
I'm still married to a very powerful lawyer, though, right? Which means I hear about his work all the time, and without me supporting him at home, he'd never be the man that he is today.
Sure. Whatever you say, Mom. By the way, did I ever mention to you my current job? Right now, I'm working as a corporate lawyer for this very large company. As you might have heard from Jessica already, I first met her in London while I was over there studying. I was actually there studying to get my international law license, and I passed that exam as well. From there, I worked as an international lawyer for some time alongside her father, and after a couple years, I then started working as a corporate lawyer for a very massive multinational company. But you haven't seen me bragging about all of that, have you? And that's because I'm nothing like you, Dad, or Seth, and don't give a crap about status.
No way. How? How could someone like you end up becoming so successful? Dalton, if you really are working in such a high-level field, you can be a part of this family again. And since I'm allowing you to be with us again, could you please help Seth get a job at that company you're in? If he were able to have the chance to start working for a company as large as the one you've told us about, I'm sure he'd feel better about what all happened. And if you're worried about whether or not he has the experience to work with you, I can vouch for him.
Are you serious? Now you want me to be a part of your family again? Wow. I never want to see any one of you ever again, Mom. I may be your biological son and all, but you guys were the ones that went and abandoned me. I really cannot understand how the tables have turned just like that. Now you're wanting my help with Seth? No, thank you.
But he's your brother. Are you really just going to abandon him now?
You really think I want to hear that from the person who forced me out of the family over a single failed exam?
Because at the time I thought you'd become a failure.
Yes, I'm aware of that, after all the times you went and called me both worthless and a disgrace. But now that you're asking for help from a failure like me, doesn't that make you a failure as well?
I don't care if you or anyone else calls me a failure for asking this. I just need you to help Seth get his life back.
If this is what's led to his whole life being ruined, then I guess that means he was never cut out to be a lawyer, Mom. Now, don't ever talk to me again, please. Goodbye forever.
Dalton! Wait!
I was able to get that divorce from Seth with no real trouble at all.
Congratulations, Jessica. That's wonderful news.
You helped me with a lot of the paperwork for that divorce as well, so I have to thank you for all of that. I appreciate what both you and my father did for me.
I was actually asked by your father if I'd like to come back and work with him full-time again, but I had to tell him that I'm very happy with my current job. Maybe I'll consider going back to him if one day I'm let go by my company or something.
What are you saying, Dalton? No company would ever let go of such an excellent lawyer as you.
Thanks for saying that. Anyway, I'm really sorry for all the trouble my family ended up causing yours. Had I never went and attended your wedding, none of this would have ever had to happen, and you would still be married.
I thought I told you this already, Dalton. This marriage both myself and Seth agreed to was only done for Seth and your family's sake, it seemed. Seth never really loved me for me, and was only really wanting to be my husband so that he could have a 100% chance of moving up in my father's law firm. Back when I first started to even go out with him, all his parents would ask about is my father, and the kind of opportunities he could give Seth.
But you at least felt some sort of love for Seth, right?
Maybe a little bit. But even if that was really love that I felt, the moment I saw your parents and Seth insulting you with my own eyes, those feelings were gone. So please, don't worry about what happened with my marriage. It was all going to become a disaster someday anyway.
Thank you, Jessica. I've been wanting to ask you this then, or rather confirm this. Are you still going to be my best friend?
What? Of course I will, Dalton.
A few days after having lost his new wife Jessica to divorce, Seth tried to get back out in the world and find a new job at another firm. At first, it sounded like he really had some newfound energy and that he was really confident that he'd be able to find some work somewhere. but after being told off time and time again, he started to lose hope. Seth finding a job was never going to happen for him anywhere around this town, considering that all of the law firms heard about what happened, so none of them would take him. This caused him to once again lose any motivation to work and go out, and now he spends all his time in his room, back home with his mom and dad. My mom, on the other hand, hates having him around the house all the time doing nothing at all, and will get into arguments with him at least 3 times a day over it. The house ended up becoming such a terrible place with this unbearable atmosphere that my dad stopped going home to them after he finished work. I haven't really talked to any of them since that last chat I had with my mom before blocking her, but what one of my distant cousins told me, my dad is thinking of divorcing my mom and kicking her out of that house. I'm not sure what he'll end up doing with Seth after he kicks her out of his house, but I'm going to assume he'll be kicking him out as well. As for myself, I've been continuing my work after that incident and have a lot more energy now than I had before. And with Jessica having gone and ended her marriage with Seth, we still have plenty of time to see one another and go out quite often to see movies together or just grab a drink. We're even planning a trip back to the UK again to go and visit our old school there and some of our old friends from over in London. We're both really looking forward to it, and I hope we can take this trip sooner rather than later. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.